Hello guys, thank you guys for watching on this new video. And this is for the CCNA security exam. So if you want to pass your CCNA security exam, make sure to follow me. And I'm going over NAT or Never Active Translation, and we're going to do static NAT. Before we implemented static NAT, but what we did was we implemented static NAT using the Cisco ASA and the ASDM. But now what we're going to do is we are going to implement static NAT using the CLI only or the command line only. So we're only going to use the command line interface to configure this. And like I said before, this is for the CCNA security exam. If you want to go ahead and pass your CCNA security, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel where I have hundreds of videos for the CCNA security on how to configure and also describing the topics on the CCNA security. And also make sure to go ahead and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. And if you do not have a Twitter account, I know you have an email account. If you have an email account, you are able to create a Twitter account. And after you create your Twitter account, if you don't have one, you can go ahead and follow me at CCNA Daily Tips. So this is all. As you can see right here, I have a topology. The router, I have configured the router with the IP address and all that good stuff, and also with a IP route, with a default gateway of ASA, so we're able to communicate with each other. All I need to do is configure the ASA, so I need to configure this zone right here. It's going to be the DMZ zone. This one is going to be the internet zone or the outside untrusted zone, and this one is going to be the inside and the trusted zone. So let's go ahead and open the ASDM, which I have open already. Let's go ahead and enable, do a config t, let's give it a host name. And the host name that we are going to give right here is going to be, let's just call it ASA. And let's go ahead to interface gigabit 00. This one is going to be the inside network. So IP address 192.168.1.1 slash 24. And then name if it's going to be inside. Now shut down. Great. Now let's go ahead to interface gigabit 01. This is the outside network. So the internet is going to have an IP address of 200.1.1.1. Name if is going to be internet, and it's going to have a security level of 0 by default, so that's fine. Now shut down. And then let's go ahead to interface gigabit 02, which is the DMZ, and this one is going to have an IP address of 172.16.1.1. And name if is going to be DMZ. And the security level you want to change it to be 50. Now shut down. Let's go ahead and end it, save it, and we should be able to ping 200. We should be able to ping the router, which is 200.1.1.2. So this is what we're going to do right now. So ping 200.1.1.2. There we go. And we're not able to ping the ASDM or the server over here because we need to go ahead and configure. So let's go ahead and configure that first. And since this is a Linux computer, you need to go ifconfig interface 0 192.168.1.2. Oops, we need to put netmask 255.255.255.0, and then we need to do a route add default default gateway needs to be 192.168.1.1. Now we should be able to pin the ASA 192.168.1.1. There we go. So we are able to pin the ASA, so that is good. So what I want to do is just copy this right here, open Notepad or it's LeafPad for Linux because I'm using a Linux computer. And since we have to configure the TACACS and TACACS is using a Linux device, all we have to do is right here just change it a little bit. 172.16.1.3. Default gateway is 172.16.1.1. Copy this, go ahead to TACACS server. And to log into the TACACS GUI is root and 1234, the password. Then after that, let's go ahead and go over here, copy it again. And are we able to paste it? Looks like we're not able to It doesn't let you paste anything, so we have to just go ahead and do it. ifconfig interface 0 172.16 that actually it's not going to be that 3. I want it to be that 50. Let's change it to 50 because that's what I want to give it. 50. Let's go to the TACX GUI 16.1.50 net mask is 255.255.255.0 and then the route add. So we're going to add the default gateway of 172.16.1.1. Now we should be able to ping 172.16.1.1, which is the default gateway or the ASA on the DMZ device. So that's good. So now all we have to do is go ahead and configure the ASA. And what we need to do is we need to create a couple objects. And we're going to create a network. And this one is going to be the DMZ translate. So it's going to translate. Let's just call it DMZ translate to internet. And what we're going to do right here, the host for this one is going to be 30, not 30, it's going to be 200.1.1.3. That's what I wanted to translate to. And we can add a description. It's going to be translate static NAT to internet. Um, to internet or to, let's just call it public address, public IP address. There it is. So after that is created, we need to go ahead and create another object, and this object is going to be it's going to be a network as well, and this one is going to be the DMZ server. And this one is going to have a host of 172.16.1.50, and then after that, we need to go ahead and add a description. This one is going to be the DMZ server IP and NAT translation and static. Let's just add static NAT translation. Great. So now what we need to do after that is go ahead and configure the NAT. So we're going to configure the NAT translation, and we need to have the translation is going to be from the DMZ to the internet. So DMZ to internet, right? And then over here, we need to do a static, and then we need to add the DMZ, or in capital, DMZ trans, is it DMZ trans? Yep, trans, ENT. So what I want to do, I want to do a NAT translation from the DMZ to the internet using this IP address, which is 200.1.1.3. Okay, press enter, and there it is. And then after that, we need to go ahead and create a access list so we can allow this router to ping the DMZ. So the pings are allowed into the DMZ zone. So what we need to do is access list, and we're going to call this DMZ to, or actually, let's just call it router to DMZ. That's how we are going to call our access list, DMZ to router to DMZ, and we're going to permit IP host 200.1.1.2. So we're going to allow this 200.1.1.2 to go into the host of 172.16.1.50. And then after we create that access list, we need to add it to the access group. And we need to go access group, and we need to call that access list that we just created, router to DMZ. And then after that, we need to do that is going to come in, right? Because it is coming in, it's not going out. So it's coming into the ASA or the firewall in interface internet. Let's go ahead and save it. And now let's go ahead and open the router. And from the router, if we do the first thing I want to do, I want to do a debug IP ICMP, debug IP ICMP, so we can track whenever we get ICMP packets to this router. So, and let's go ahead and open the TACACS GUI. So we're going to have to ping from here, and let's see if we get replies. So let's go ahead and ping 200.1.1.2. As you can see, we are able to ping the um, the router. You can see that the router is getting the ICMP packets, and we are actually replying to these 200.1.1.3. It's actually not the IP address of this TACACS server that we are replying, because it is a private IP address, and private IP addresses are not routable. So we need to translate, like we did. We translated into the public IP address of 200.1.1.3, and whenever this router gets those packets, those ICMP packets, it is actually replying, and it is sending from the source of 200.1.1.2, which we allow, right? We allow those packets to come into the host of 172.16.1.5, and when they come into here, it is actually translated into we go to the router, it is translated into the 200.1.1.3. And also, if we do a ping 200.1.1.3, you can see that we are able to ping that TACACS server. So that's how you're able to configure a static NAT, or static network address translation, using only the CLI command, or the command line interface from the firewall, or the ASA, the Cisco firewall. So this is how you do it, guys. So I show you guys how to configure using the ASDM, and also configure via the command line interface. And if you guys enjoy this video, hey, don't forget, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. And if you don't have a Twitter account, you can also go ahead and create a Twitter account, because I know you have an email account. So you can create a Twitter account and then follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I have plenty of content coming on. And I'm never going to stop. I'm always going to publish videos until I get my CCIE security certification. So all that is coming up. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.